The plane is already lowering its altitude. The cabin lights are dimmed halfway, and people are quietly drifting into thoughts of the lives waiting after landing. Then, this is seriously annoying. It's not a quiet voice. It's said on purpose, so people can hear it. Why did you have to sit next to me and make this flight so exhausting? The air freezes. The small cabin noises return a beat late. A hand flipping a newspaper. In the seat ahead stops. Someone who is dozing opens their eyes. The person in question is a small, elderly woman. Her back is slightly bent. Both hands rest neatly on her lap. She says nothing. The woman stands with her arms crossed, looking down at her. You keep moving. This seat isn't exactly comfortable. This is why people say older folks are a nuisance. The words drop like blades. Her face holds no trace of humor. At that moment, the main character lifts her head. Her name is Sarah Miller. She recognizes the woman too well. At the company, among co-workers, she's known as the boss, with the worst temper. When she's in a bad mood, the entire day turns sour. She corners her staff without mercy, based solely on how she feels. And now, that woman is sitting right there. Sarah looks away. It's the last day of the trip. Her husband and children are beside her. She doesn't want any trouble, but the elderly woman's hand trembles just slightly, but clearly. The first to notice is a child. Sarah's son, Ethan, whispers, "Mom, look at her hand." Sarah follows his gaze. The woman's fingertips are trembling on her lap. The other woman does not look away. Today's luck is just terrible. At that, the elderly woman's shoulders sink a little more. Sarah feels her heart drop hard once. In this situation, can I really pretend nothing is happening? Her thoughts tangle. Her children's faces pass by. Her husband's profile comes into view. Then, her boss's face from work. If I step in, what will she say when I go back to work? At that moment, the woman speaks again. "Excuse me, do you really have no sense at all?" Sarah knows she can't keep her head down any longer. She takes one breath, very short. Then, slowly, she stands. All eyes inside the cabin turn to Sarah. She looks at the elderly woman and speaks quietly. "Mom, please come to our seats." The cabin falls completely silent. Sarah doesn't know yet that this single sentence won't end inside this plane, but in this moment, a line has already been crossed, one that cannot be undone. When Sarah finishes speaking, the airplane cabin freezes in place. It feels like someone started to breathe in and forgot how to let it out. Others lower their heads, unsure where their eyes should rest. The elderly woman does not move right away. She looks at Sarah once, then looks at the children. "It's okay," the woman says. Her voice is soft, but it is not forced. Sarah shakes her head. "No, this seat is more comfortable for you." There is no explanation in her voice, no hesitation, just certainty. Then, the seat beside Sarah moves first. It is Daniel, her husband. He does not say anything. He simply stands up. His expression does not change. "It's okay," Daniel says to the kids. "It'll be quick." The children do not ask questions. Ethan grabs his bag. Lily looks up at Sarah. Sarah does not avoid her gaze. Lily nods. She understands. In that moment, something tight presses gently against Sarah's chest. The elderly woman slowly stands. Daniel naturally offers his arm. "Careful," he says. The woman takes it. Her hand is still trembling slightly. "Thank you," the woman says. Sarah smiles. "It's nothing. Take your time." The seat change happens quietly. No applause. No murmuring. Yet every pair of eyes follows the movement. The woman sits in Sarah's seat. She leans back deeply and closes her eyes for a moment. Only then do her shoulders finally drop. Ethan sits beside her and asks, "Are you okay?" The woman opens her eyes and looks at him. "Yes, I feel better now." Lily leans forward slightly. "This is the window seat," she says. "You can see the lights." The woman looks out. Small dots of light scattered in the dark. "You're right," she says. "They're beautiful." The children relax. Sarah takes a seat one row back, next to Karen Whitmore. The air changes the moment she sits down. Karen does not look at Sarah, but the way she doesn't look is unmistakable. Her arms are crossed, her eyes fixed straight ahead. Sarah sits up straight. Discomfort crawls slowly up her spine. Did I step in when I shouldn't have? The thought passes only for a moment. It disappears when she hears the children laughing in the seat ahead. The elderly woman speaks to them. "Are you siblings?" "Yes," Lily answers quickly. "My brother and me." Ethan adds, "Our mum is the kindest person." Sarah pretends not to hear. She lowers her head. Karen's lips curl slightly. Not a smile. More like, "Who does she think she is?" Karen thinks silently. A woman who ruins the mood even on vacation. Someone who plays the hero for no reason. Someone with nothing, acting like she has everything. Karen's eyes sweep over Sarah. Neat clothes. Unremarkable face. Why someone like that bothers me so much? Karen does not look for the answer. She simply feels irritated. From the seat ahead, the elderly woman laughs again. Karen's hand tightens. Sarah senses it. She does not turn her head. There is no need. Daniel glances back at Sarah. Just for a second. Sarah nods. "I'm okay." The cabin announcement flows through the speakers. Landing instructions. Sarah fastens her seatbelt. Karen does the same. The movements are similar. The atmosphere is not. Sarah looks forward. The children and the elderly woman sit side by side. The sight unexpectedly calms her. Sarah thinks, "I hope this is the end," but she already knows it is only a wish. Karen lowers her head slightly and mutters, "Just wait." Sarah does not hear the words. Still, she feels it. This flight will not end quietly. The airplane begins its descent. As this journey comes to a close, another beginning moves closer silently. It is Monday morning. Sarah stops for a moment, in front of the company building. The face reflected in the glass door does not look very different from before the vacation, but under her eyes, there is a little more shadow. Sarah takes a slow breath and pushes the door open. The lobby is the same as always. The smell of coffee, quick footsteps, short greetings. "Welcome back," the security guard says. Sarah nods. "Thank you." She gets into the elevator. The numbers go up, one by one. Sarah takes out her phone, then puts it back in. Nothing will happen. It's just another workday, she tells herself. But her chest does not feel light. The doors open. The office. The first feeling is different. People who usually smile look away just a little. The sound of keyboards feels louder than it should. Sarah walks to her desk. The chair is the same, but the air around it feels one shade lower. Sarah, a co-worker next to her, speaks quietly. "How was your vacation?" Sarah smiles. "It was fine." As soon as the words end, a door inside the office opens. The sound of heels, clear, measured. Sarah does not need to look up to know who it is. Karen Whitmore. Karen scans the office once and stops in front of Sarah's desk. Did you enjoy your vacation? Her voice is soft. Too soft. Sarah pushes her chair back and stands. Yes. Karen smiles. Only the corners of her mouth. Then come to the meeting room. There's something we need to talk about. The air tightens. Sarah nods. All right. When the meeting room door closes, the sound cuts off completely. Karen places a stack of papers on the table. During the vacation, some handovers got a little messy. Sarah listens. This contract, it was yours, right? Yes. Karen nods. So about that. A pause. Deliberate. For now. Report everything directly to me. Sarah blinks. But the team process. I'll decide that. Karen cuts her off. Sarah says nothing. Karen flips one page. And, be careful with your tone in meetings. Sarah knows exactly what she means. Like last time. Don't disturb the mood. The words are quiet, but precise. Sarah presses her lips together. I understand. The meeting ends there. On the way back to her desk, her steps feel heavy. As soon as she sits down, email alerts start popping up. CC added. Report requested. Deadline changed. Sarah's name appears again and again. A coworker whispers, Sarah, doesn't this feel strange? Sarah nods. Yeah, it's lunchtime. Sarah stays at her desk. She takes out her lunchbox, then puts it back. Just then, the phone rings. Sarah, Karen's voice. The report we talked about. I need it by today. Sarah looks at the clock. There isn't much time. Yes. After hanging up, Sarah closes her eyes for a moment. The airplane flashes through her mind. The child's voice. The trembling hand. If I could go back to that moment. Sarah shakes her head. No, that's not it. Her fingers hit the keyboard. Fast. But her shoulders are stiff. By the time the sun goes down, she sends the report. A reply comes soon after. Needs revision. Redo. Short sentences. Sarah leans back in her chair. It feels like the day is only beginning. Outside the window, it is already dark. Sarah looks at the screen again. This is just the start. She moves her hands again. For now, she can still endure. The meeting room door closes. The noise from beyond the glass cuts off, and the air inside drops all at once. Sarah sits down. The documents that have been circulating since morning are spread across the table, but her hand does not reach for them easily. Karen Whitmore does not sit. She stands at the front of the room, looking down at everyone. All right, let's start. It's a short sentence. Her voice is calm. That makes it more tense. The reports move in order. Numbers, schedules, projected ranges. Sarah waits for her turn. Her heart beats a little faster. Karen flips a page, then looks up. Sarah, one name. And the room shifts. This part, Karen says, pointing at the screen. Explain it. Sarah opens her laptop. These figures. Wait. Karen raises a hand. That's not what I'm asking. Sarah stops mid-sentence. Why was it organized this way? Karen asks. Who decided on this approach? Sarah answers carefully. The team discussed it and... The team? Karen smiles. Since when does the team make decisions? Small breaths mix through the room. Sarah presses her lips together. In previous projects, we don't need the past. Karen cuts her off. I'm the one responsible now. Sarah says nothing more. Karen walks slowly across the room and stops in front of Sarah's seat. After coming back from vacation, it seems your sense for work has dulled a bit. Her tone is soft, but the words are sharp. Someone shifts a chair. The sound feels louder than it should. Sarah does not lower her eyes, but she does not raise her head either. This document, Karen says. Redo it. Sarah hesitates for a beat. Now, Karen tilts her head. Right after the meeting, Sarah answers briefly, "Okay." The corner of Karen's mouth lifts, just slightly. "And one more thing. Try to fix that habit of interrupting during meetings." Sarah searches her memory for when she did that. She finds nothing. She says nothing. The meeting continues, but the content no longer reaches Sarah. The words on the screen feel like they're circling in place. The meeting ends. Chairs slide back. Papers are gathered. No one looks at Sarah directly. As they leave the room, someone says carefully, "Sarah, let's talk later." Sarah nods. "Yeah." She returns to her desk and opens her laptop again. She fixes the parts Karen pointed out, one by one. Her hands move out of habit. A moment later, a messenger notification appears. "Karen, that document from earlier, by today." Sarah looks at the screen. She starts to type a reply, then stops. Then she enters a short message. "Okay." The coworker next to her pulls their chair a little closer. "Are you okay?" Sarah does not smile. She nods instead. "Let's just work." The words are less for the other person, and more for herself. Quitting time passes. The office lights turn off one by one. Sarah stays at her desk. Outside the window, city lights come on, and the meeting rooms stand empty. She sends the report. A short while later, a reply arrives. "Not this." Again, 2 sentences. Sarah leans back in her chair. Her wrist aches a little, but she does not stop. "This is a test." That's what she tells herself. "She's waiting for me to break first." Sarah starts typing again. She does not confront it now. Not yet. Several days pass. Sarah doesn't count them. Counting would only make them feel slower. When she arrives at work in the morning, small changes catch her eye first. Meeting schedules have been changed. Her name has been removed from CC lines. Deadlines have been pulled forward. Anyone can tell it's not a coincidence. Sarah doesn't bother to say it out loud. She already knows. Karen Whitmore moves the lines little by little, without a single explanation. It's lunchtime. Sarah takes out her lunchbox, then quietly puts it back. She doesn't feel like going to the cafeteria. She looks at the monitor and takes a sip of coffee. The bitterness lingers longer than usual. Then, a messenger notification appears. "Karen, conference room, now." Sarah checks the time. It's lunch break. Still, there's only one answer. "Okay." Karen is standing alone in the conference room. She doesn't sit. As soon as the door closes, Karen speaks. "Sarah, you seem unfocused these days." Sarah doesn't search for words. She just listens. "Post-vacation fatigue?" Karen smiles. The smile doesn't last. Personal feelings don't belong in work. Sarah knows exactly what she means. "Personal feelings?" Sarah asks. Karen tilts her head slightly. "Like on the plane." The words land precisely. Sarah takes a quiet breath. "That had nothing to do with work." "I don't see it that way." Karen cuts her off. "In an organization, a single choice shows who you are." Sarah says nothing more. Karen places a document on the table. "This contract. You were the last one to review it, right?" Sarah looks at the title. "It's familiar." "Yes. I only reviewed it." Karen nods. "Then you'll remember it." As Sarah leaves the conference room, a chill runs down her back. The afternoon deepens. Sarah submits a report. A short while later, it comes back. "Revision requested. No reason given." She sends it again. It comes back again. The coworker next to her speaks quietly. "Sarah, it's been pretty bad lately." Sarah nods. "I'm okay." The words come out of habit. Near the end of the day, Sarah heads to the copy room. Printed pages are waiting in the tray. She reaches out, but someone grabs them first. It's Megan. I'll take these, she says. Sarah catches the top of the page. Her name is printed there. Those are. Sarah stops herself. Megan has already turned away. Sarah says nothing. That night, at home, the kids are in their rooms. Daniel is doing the dishes. How was today? Daniel asks. Sarah thinks for a moment. I'm tired. Daniel doesn't ask more. He just says, but you made it through today. Sarah smiles at that. The next morning, Sarah opens her inbox as soon as she arrives. The important contract file is missing. It was definitely there yesterday. She checks the folder again. Nothing. She opens her drawer. Everything is exactly as it was. Sarah looks around. Megan's desk. Karen's office. No one looks at her. Sarah walks up to the team lead. Have you seen the contract documents? The team lead shakes his head. Karen's been looking for them since morning. Her heartbeat quickens slightly. Then Karen's voice cuts through the office. Sarah. Sarah turns. Karen is standing in the middle of the office. The documents. Where are they? Sarah answers clearly. I left them where they were. Karen looks at her for a moment. Then she says, let's check. The office goes quiet. Sarah knows. This isn't a mistake. This is a plan. And the moment on the plane, the moment she stood up, comes back to her. The office becomes strangely quiet. The printer, the keyboards. At some point, they all stop. Karen stands in the middle of the office. Her voice isn't loud. That's why it's clearer. The contract documents are missing. At those words, a few employees lift their heads. Others stare only at their monitors. Sarah doesn't stand up from her chair. Her body knows first. Now is not the time to move. They were definitely here until yesterday, right? Karen says. Sarah nods. Yes. I reviewed them and put them back. Karen doesn't respond right away. She slowly scans the office. These documents are extremely important to the company. People's gazes naturally shift toward Sarah. Sarah feels them. A chill runs down her back. The last person who handled them yesterday. Karen continues. That was you, Sarah. Sarah lifts her head. Yes, but that's when. Megan steps forward. Yesterday. Megan says. I saw Sarah holding the documents. In the copy room. The air clearly changes. Sarah's words get stuck in her throat. That's. Just as Sarah tries to speak, Karen raises her hand. Wait. Megan doesn't avoid eye contact. And I also saw her put something into the drawer next to my desk. A small sound ripples through the office. A chair shifts. Breaths mix. Sarah clenches her hands. Her palms are damp with sweat. That's not true, Sarah says. Her voice trembles slightly, but her words are firm. Karen looks straight at Sarah. She doesn't look away. Sarah, this isn't an emotional issue. At those words, Sarah feels a cold drop inside her. This is a company asset issue. Karen continues. We need to follow procedure. Sarah looks around. Some people lower their heads. Others touch their papers. No one speaks up. For Sarah, Karen picks up the office phone. Please connect me to HR. At that moment, Sarah's heart drops hard once. Wait, Sarah says. Karen tilts her head. Go on. Do you have proof that I took them? The office goes quiet again. Megan speaks. I saw it, with my own eyes. Sarah looks at Megan. Her gaze feels unfamiliar. Then, Sarah asks, why are you saying this now? Megan hesitates. Karen fills the gap. That doesn't matter. What matters is where the documents are. Sarah shakes her head. I didn't take them. Those words hang in the air, unchanged. Karen finishes the call with HR. There will be a meeting shortly. Sarah remains seated in her chair. She doesn't stand. Her legs won't move easily. The office stays quiet. No one says a word. Then, a small notification pops up in the lower right corner of Sarah's computer screen. Please come to the CEO's office. The sender is the CEO. Sarah looks at the screen again, as if checking she didn't misread it. Around her, others seem to notice too. A few glances flick toward Sarah. Some people quickly turn away. Others pretend to type. Karen doesn't look at Sarah. It's the attitude of someone who already knows everything. Megan straightens the papers. There's nothing to organize. Yet she aligns them anyway. Then Karen and Megan leave the office. Sarah slowly stands up as well. The chair scrapes the floor with a soft sound. That sound feels strangely loud. She opens the office door and steps into the long hallway outside. The fluorescent lights settle coldly overhead. Sarah walks toward the CEO's office. One step, then another. Her footsteps grow heavier. What should I say? Where do I even start? Her thoughts tangle in her head. She arrives in front of the CEO's office. The door is firmly closed. Sarah stands there for a moment. From inside, low voices can be heard. Karen's voice, and Megan's brief replies. Sarah takes a short breath. She raises her hand and knocks. Come in. It's the CEO's voice. Calm, but decisive. Sarah opens the door. Next to the CEO's desk, Karen and Megan are already standing. The moment Sarah sees them, she knows this isn't a place for explanations. The door closes slowly, and the sounds of the office outside are completely cut off. The CEO's office feels unusually large. Even without words, the air presses first. The CEO does not sit. He stands in front of his desk, looking at Sarah. Karen and Megan stand on either side of him, as if they've already claimed their places. Sarah stands a few steps away from the door. No one tells her to sit. No one asks her to come closer. That silence is the rule of this room. The CEO speaks first. Sarah, you've already heard the situation. Sarah nods. Yes, but hold on. The CEO cuts her off. Sarah presses her lips together. She stops speaking. The CEO lifts a document and places it on the table. Contract documents. Finalized today. Sarah looks at the paper, the one that was definitely there earlier. This document went missing, and both the team lead and the staff reported the same thing. Karen steps forward. Sir, I reported this as the person in charge. Megan nods as well. I saw it myself. Sarah taking the documents out. Sarah looks at Megan. That gaze still feels unfamiliar. That's not true, Sarah says. Her voice is low, but clear. The CEO looks at Sarah. Sarah, this isn't about words right now. Sarah clenches her hands. Then do you have proof? Proof that I took them? The office goes quiet again. Karen answers immediately. There is a witness. Sarah swallows. Then why is this only being said now? That doesn't matter. The CEO interrupts. At those words, Sarah feels her chest sink. The company runs on trust. The CEO continues. And in this situation, that trust has been broken. Sarah lifts her head. I've never caused a problem in this company. The CEO doesn't deny it. I know. That's what makes this difficult. That answer only makes Sarah more uneasy. The CEO pauses, then says firmly, Sarah, the company cannot move forward with suspicion. Sarah understands the sentence immediately. You mean, the CEO doesn't look away? Your contract is terminated as of today. Sarah remains standing right where she is. Are you saying I'm being fired? The CEO nods. Yes. That single word lands heavily in the room. Karen says nothing. Megan doesn't lift her head. Sarah is silent for a moment. The silence stretches. "We'll give you time to gather your things," the CEO says. "HR will explain the procedure." Sarah slowly bows her head. "I understand." That's all she can say. Sarah turns and walks toward the door. As her hand reaches the handle, the CEO speaks again. "Sarah, there's nothing personal in this." Sarah doesn't turn around. "I know." That one sentence is Sarah's last word. The door opens, and Sarah steps out of the office. The sound of the door closing is not loud, but with that sound, Sarah's place is completely over. She stops in the hallway for a moment. She doesn't cry. She makes no sound. But one thing is clear. This wasn't a mistake. It wasn't coincidence. In front of a plan already set, even the truth fails to become truth. Sarah slowly walks toward the elevator. She doesn't know yet that this firing isn't the end, but the beginning of the board being flipped. Sarah leaves the CEO's office and returns to the office floor. It's quieter than before. People pretend to work, but their eyes keep drifting toward her. Sarah says nothing. She goes to her desk and opens the drawer. One cup, one photo, one notepad, just a few items. There isn't much to pack, so that's all, she thinks. Sarah looks at the photo for a moment. Her kids, her husband, a picture taken on vacation. She places the photo into her bag and closes the drawer. Sarah, someone starts to call her name, then swallows the rest. Sarah doesn't turn around. If she does, she feels like she might fall apart right here. She opens the office door and steps outside. At the end of the hallway, she presses the elevator button. The doors open, and Sarah steps inside. Then, she hears the sound of a cane behind her. Wait! The elevator doors open again. Sarah freezes the moment she sees the face. It's the elderly woman she met on the plane. "Oh my, we meet again here." Sarah smiles without thinking. Not a forced smile, a real one. "Yes, I guess we do." Sarah steps out of the elevator for a moment. The woman looks at her. "Do you work here?" Sarah hesitates, then answers, "Not anymore. Not now." The woman tilts her head. Then, Sarah takes a breath. "Today was my last day. I was fired. I'm on my way out." The woman's expression pauses. "I see." Sarah forces a light smile. "It's okay. Life doesn't always go the way we plan." The elevator arrives again, and the doors open. As Sarah is about to step back inside, the woman speaks. "Wait a moment. I'm here on some business too." Sarah stops. "Could you wait for me in the lobby for a bit? There's something I'd like to say." Sarah nods. "Sure, I can do that." The woman gently takes Sarah's hand. "Thank you for what you did on the plane." Sarah lowers her head. "It was nothing." The woman smiles and walks toward the secretary's desk. Sarah goes down to the lobby, sits on a sofa, and places her bag on her lap. The woman walks down the long hallway toward the CEO's office. "Is the CEO available?" "He's in a meeting right now. You may need to wait for a bit." The woman nods. "Then I'll sit in the lounge for a moment." The secretary says, "I'll take you there." The lounge is quiet. The scent of coffee lingers softly. The woman sits at the end of the sofa. A moment later, voices drift in from outside the lounge. "Do you really think Sarah stole it?" "No, I saw it. I saw the team lead and Megan carrying the documents toward the CEO's office." "Then why didn't you say anything?" "If we speak up now, we're done too." The woman says nothing, but she doesn't close her eyes. They probably thought everything would go quiet once Sarah was gone. At those words, the woman's expression slowly hardens. A moment later, the secretary opens the lounge door. "I'll escort you now." The woman stands up slowly. Then she asks the secretary, "Right now, who is inside the CEO's office?" The secretary answers carefully, "The team lead and, the staff member involved." The woman nods and walks toward the CEO's office. The door opens. "Mother!" The CEO's voice rises in surprise. Karen freezes the moment she sees her. The word "mother" hangs clearly in the air. The woman looks at the CEO. "May I ask what you're doing right now?" The CEO doesn't answer right away. Karen's face grows paler. The woman speaks calmly. "From what I heard outside, it seems the documents went missing, but I don't think anyone's confirmed yet whether they're really gone." With those words, the air inside the CEO's office changes completely. The CEO stands in front of his desk, and Karen and Megan stand beside him. Eleanor does not sit, leaning on her cane. She slowly looks around the room. "Sarah," Eleanor says, "do you really think she took these documents?" The CEO pauses, choosing his words. "That's how it was reported to me." Eleanor nods. "A report, not a confirmation." At that, the CEO's eyebrow twitches slightly. Eleanor looks at Karen. "You're the team leader, right?" Karen straightens her back. "Yes, I'm responsible." Then, Eleanor continues, "As the person responsible, you should know who saw the documents last." Karen does not answer right away. "Sarah," she says, a moment too late. Eleanor looks at Megan. "You said you saw it." Megan nods. "Yes, I saw her holding the documents in the copy room." Eleanor nods slowly. "I see. Then we should check." The CEO lifts his head. "Mother, we already..." Eleanor raises her hand. "You haven't checked anything yet." The CEO's office falls silent. Eleanor looks straight at Karen. "The documents, are they really missing?" Karen swallows. "Yes, they weren't in the office." Eleanor nods. "Then you checked your drawer too?" Karen's expression hardens. "My drawer?" "Yes," Eleanor says. "The team leader's drawer." Megan cuts in quickly. "There's no need to." "There is." Eleanor cuts her off. "You already sent someone out." The CEO looks at Karen. "Open it." Karen does not move. Her fingertips tremble slightly. "Sir," Karen says, "that's personal. They're company documents." The CEO says, "Open it." Karen closes her eyes briefly and walks to her desk. She grips the drawer handle. She pauses. That brief pause says everything. Then the drawer opens. Among neatly arranged files, at the very bottom, a familiar blue folder appears. The CEO's face hardens. Eleanor does not reach for it. She looks only with her eyes. "That one. It's today's contract, isn't it?" The CEO pulls it out and flips through it quickly. A signature, a stamp, a date. "That's correct." Megan's face turns pale. "Why is this?" Karen starts to say, then stops. Eleanor speaks quietly. "Now the story fits." Karen shakes her head. "Someone put it there." Eleanor looks at her. Then, "Why were you in such a hurry earlier?" Karen opens her mouth, then closes it. The CEO looks at Megan. "You said you saw it." Megan avoids his eyes. "Yes, I did." "When?" the CEO asks. "Yesterday." "Why didn't you say it right away?" Megan grips her sleeve. "At the time I wasn't sure." The CEO lifts his head. "You fired someone based on uncertainty." The air in the office changes completely. Eleanor looks at the CEO. "Richard, when you let someone go, you must be certain." The CEO lowers his head. "I acted too quickly." Eleanor nods. "Now, there are two things to do." Karen and Megan freeze at the same time. First, Bring Sarah back. And the other, Eleanor continues. Hold accountable the people who lied here. The CEO picks up the phone, his face decided. Karen finally loses her words. Megan cannot speak at all. The drawer is already open, and the lie has nowhere left to go. Now, the board has completely turned. Sarah is sitting on a sofa in the lobby. Her bag still rests on her lap, her hands placed naturally on top of it. She can't quite tell how much time has passed. Then, she hears footsteps coming from the elevator. Sarah doesn't lift her head. She doesn't want to expect anything, but the shadow that stops in front of her feels familiar. Sarah, it's the CEO's voice. Sarah slowly looks up. Behind him stands his assistant, and a little farther back, the elderly woman, Eleanor Reed. The CEO hesitates for a moment, then speaks. Could you please come back up to my office? Sarah pauses. Why? The CEO looks straight ahead. There's something I need to explain. Sarah takes a breath and nods. Inside the elevator, it's quiet. No one speaks. Sarah's heart begins to race again, but this time, it feels different. The door to the CEO's office opens again. This time, Karen and Megan are not there. The CEO does not sit as he speaks. Sarah, the termination decision made today has been withdrawn immediately. Sarah doesn't understand right away. What? The CEO says it clearly. The contract documents were found in the team leader's drawer. Sarah's eyes widen. Eleanor adds quietly, the woman who gave up her seat for me on the plane, that was Sarah. Sarah can't continue speaking. The CEO bows his head. I made a decision without proper confirmation. I'm sorry. And thank you as well, for my mother. Sarah says nothing. That silence carries the weight of responsibility. After a brief pause, the CEO continues. Karen and Megan have been dismissed immediately. The words settle firmly into the air. Sarah closes her eyes, then opens them again. It's not joy. It feels more like being able to breathe again. The CEO speaks once more. And I would like to offer Sarah the team leader position. Sarah looks at him, surprised. Eleanor looks at Sarah. We need leaders who treat people as people. Sarah thinks for a moment, then she speaks slowly. I won't become a boss who pushes people into corners. The CEO nods. That's exactly what we're hoping for. Evening comes. Warm lights glow inside the house. A simple dinner is set on the table. Sarah puts her bag down and sits. The children look at her. Mom, you're late today. Sarah hesitates, then says, a lot happened today, and I became a team leader. A brief silence follows. Then the children smile. Her husband speaks quietly. That makes sense. Sarah nods. As she hears it, there's no big celebration, no loud words, but relief flows across the table. Sarah looks at her children. The choice to treat someone as a person, that choice led to today. The lights go out, and the house grows quiet. Sarah reflects on the day, her trembling hands on the plane, the moment she stood up. Now she knows. That choice changed everything. It was a quiet day, but a clear one. And now, Sarah has returned to her place. Thank you for staying with us until the end. We will be back soon with a better story. Your support, your likes and your follow means so much to us.